Hi guys, hope everyone's well. This episode's going to go over how to manage your weekends. And a lot of people struggle with weekend management when they're in fat loss phases or just as a whole. So I thought I'd go over how exactly you can navigate them in terms of managing your nutrition, managing your activity throughout the weekend, and managing any alcohol consumption. So as for the reason why this matters, especially if you're in a fat loss phase, when we think about the amount of calories we can consume at the weekend, it can be very easy to reverse your progress. Or if you're in a gaining phase setting or gaining weight, to have a unfavorably fast rate of gain. And a good example is, let's say someone needs to eat 1,800 calories to lose weight and 2,000 to maintain weight. And let's say Monday to Thursday they eat 1,800, Friday they eat 2,000, and Saturday and Sunday they eat an extra 500 calories, which could be like a large drink from Starbucks, like a Frappuccino. It could be just having a dessert, or it could be if you go out for a meal, or alternatively, if you have a Domino's pizza, that can be a good 1,500 calories itself. So if you eat an extra 500 or 500 calories above your maintenance on 2 days, it's very, very easy to reverse your progress in that regard. And that would give someone their average calories of 2,020 if they ate 1,800 Monday to Thursday and an extra 500 at the weekend and 200 on Friday. So it's very easy to set yourself back, sadly, when it comes to your nutrition. So it's something we definitely want to manage and keep an eye on. Because I see it time and time again, their body weight will trend down Monday to Friday, then it'll spike at the weekend, and then they'll be in that vicious cycle, sadly. And my first tip is have a plan in place. So people cope fine throughout the week. Why? Usually they work, which means they've got good structure and routine in place because their work gives them that structure and routine. They've got a set schedule, but at the weekend they kind of lose that routine, they lose that schedule. So instead, try and keep one in place when it comes to your steps. Try and still hit your steps and get them out of the way nice and early, or any other activity you're doing. Same with your training, have a plan for it, know when you're going to do it exactly. And same with your nutrition, don't just kind of wing it at the weekend, still kind of have regimented times when you eat. And same with your training, still have like a good training time, training routine with your water intake as well. We can create routine with our water intake, which will create predictability with our training as well. So have a good routine. It doesn't need to look the same as your weekday routine, but still have a routine in place. And don't treat it as off or on plan. It doesn't need to be. You don't need to deviate, or you don't necessarily need to be off plan to enjoy your weekend and to have a good time. So in regards to handling meals out, so when you are going for meals out, first of all, plan ahead. So you can look at the menu beforehand and ahead of schedule, plan and factor into your meals you're going to have earlier in the day. So if you're going out for dinner, you know you're on 2,000 calories a day or whatever the number is, then let's say if you know you're going to be eating 800 calories when you're eating out, you then know you've got 1,200 calories to distribute towards the rest of the day. And also don't skip meals. So I wouldn't completely go into it starving and not having it, because you'll probably end up eating more. So instead, still eat, just remove the carbs and fats from your prior meals. So a meal could look like, instead of having chicken, rice, and vegetables, it could just be chicken and vegetables. Instead of, let's say, having one of your meals as, let's say, whey protein oats and also, let's say, berries and some almond butter or whatever, it could just be the whey protein and the whey protein and the blueberries. And another wee tip is preload. So before going into that meal, eat something voluminous and have plenty of water prior. For example, if, let's say, an hour, 45 minutes before going somewhere, eat, let's say, some chicken and like a good bit of lettuce, 100 to 200 grams of lettuce. You're going to go into that meal if you drink a lot of water as well, and your hunger is going to be a lot lower, which means you'll probably handle it better and be more sensible with the options you pick and how much food you actually eat when you're out. So preloading is a great tool there. And when you're at the restaurant itself, what you can look to do is aim for lean protein sources. So aim for like a lean meat, some fish, or a plant-based protein source to help manage your satiety, still help you hit your protein goal for that day. And with the greens, eat them and eat the greens and the protein first. The reason being is if someone's going out and let's say they're going for a steak, they've got steak, vegetables, chips, what's going to be the most calorie dense and less conducive towards reaching their goals? It's going to be the chips. They're going to be the ones that are going to accumulate the most calories and not have much nutritional value or protein in it. Basically making it harder for you to reach your daily protein goal potentially. So instead, eat the foods that are filling, eat the foods that are lowest in calories, and then if you're not hungry and you don't finish your meal, you're leaving the things that give you the less return for your investment and that have the most calories in it. Whereas if you start with the most caloric dense options, then it means you'll maybe not finish your protein, not hit your protein goal, and also consume more calories for that meal. We can also consider when we are going out for food, still opting for something that's not too bad in terms of calories and a bit more filling. For example, yes, you can eat pizza and still lose weight, but the satiety you get from pizza is very low and the calories you get from it's very high. So instead of having, let's say, some pizza and only being able to have a couple slices if you want to adhere to your calorie goal, you could instead get something like a steak, get something like chicken wings, get something that's going to still be enjoyable, that will allow you to spend time with the individuals around you, but also not cause you to have your calories go through the roof. We can also consider making swaps. So if you are eating out for dinner, a lot of restaurants will be quite accompanying with what food you eat. So if you are somewhere and you have chips in whatever meal you're going to pick, you could opt to swap it for something like rice, or alternatively potato. Potato's a super filling food, especially when it's like a baked potato, boiled potato instead of mashed potato. So that can be a great idea to again save calories and still enjoy yourself, but not kind of miss out on that social event. And notice here, I'm not saying you need to get this chicken Caesar salad. You can obviously, but you don't need to. Like, we can still get things that are relatively enjoyable, like a chicken dish, a steak, that sort of thing, and still handle it well in that regard. And the good thing about doing that is it'll be sustainable, whereas going out and every time you go out getting a salad, not going to be sustainable, let's say, is it? And we can also be mindful of hidden calories. So it's very easy, like when we get something like chicken wings for a starter, you get like a sauce alongside it that's quite calorie dense. You go for a main, you get another sauce, and maybe they put things like a lot of cheese on it, oil, etc. You can ask and have it without cheese. You can also just leave the sauces when you're having your meals. Like if you are like drowning your food in, like, say, mayonnaise or ketchup, that can very easily accumulate another couple hundred calories that we don't need to accumulate. That could be the difference between being at maintenance or gaining weight, for example. And we can also opt for things like a starter instead of dessert. Typically, it'll give you a bit more satiety having something like soup or something like chicken wings again, or something like prawns, instead of having something like a chocolate fudge cake for dessert. It's going to give you more nutritional value, give you more satiety, and to help you reach your protein goal, opting for that starter. When it comes to alcohol consumption, alcohol is not conducive towards progress when it comes to fat loss, muscle growth, or improving your body composition by any means, really. However, the effects of it will be dependent on the dosage and the frequency you consume alcohol. Having a drink now and then is not going to ruin your progress, stop you building muscle, stop you losing body fat. But if you go out, you get hammered Friday, Saturday, then there's probably going to, let's be honest. It can affect recovery and muscle growth. It can disturb sleep quality. It can lower training performance, increase appetite and cravings, and also slow fat loss. So it's something we definitely want to be mindful of. It puts us in a position where we're not as likely to build muscle and more likely to break muscle down, which we don't want. But like I said, its effects will be dose and frequency dependent. If you go out and you have a pint or a glass of wine, you're not going to automatically regress and drop reps. Next time you're in the gym, you'll be fine there. So just bear in mind how you handle it and pick and choose your battles. Like if you've got quite a lot of social events at a certain time of year, do you need to go out and get very, very drunk for every single one? Probably not. So try and handle some of them well. If you know you're going to be drinking heavily other days or other weeks, and maybe pick some weekends to try and be sensible. So on average, we're in a good spot. And if you are drinking, some low calorie options include things like spirits and zero sugar fizzy drinks, some light beers and dry wines. And when it comes to managing the effects of the alcohol, hydration. So before, during, and after going out, drink water, a decent bit of water, and have some salt or electrolytes, because part of the reason you feel really rough after drinking is just due to dehydration. Hence why you often often crave salty foods like Chinese, because it's high in salt. Salt will play a part in hydration. And same with sleep. Try and opt for still trying to get reasonable sleep duration and quality the best you can, just so it doesn't throw you off track and sleep something that can affect things like appetite, training, and your ability to retain and build muscle and hold on to, or lose body fat, sorry. And also get right back on plan after. See, if someone goes out, they have a few drinks, they get tipsy, maybe a bit drunk, but then the day after, like, their actions remain unchanged. They still hit their steps, they still get their protein in, they still adhere to their calories. They're going to have much more success with their fat loss endeavors or their fitness related goals. And if someone goes out, they have an absolutely horrendous sleep, they don't hit their steps the next day, they order a fry up and then a Chinese for dinner, that individual's not gonna be moving towards your goals very well. Whereas if the individual has a night out, but their actions remain unchanged elsewhere, they're going to be much more likely to move towards their goals. And as for activity, we can still hit our goals with our activity and enjoy our weekend. I'm not saying you need to sacrifice social events here by any means, but we can get them in first thing. Like with routine, try and have a routine in place just like you do throughout the week to ensure predictability. That should be something we always do with our steps. Start early with your steps. Get your steps in, or if you've got any training to do, get in first thing in the morning. As soon as you're up, don't sit in your bed for an hour and chill, watching whatever on the TV. Get up right away, get your steps in. That hour that you maybe chill first thing in the morning, that could be 6,000 plus steps. So it's a good way to get your steps in, starting them nice and early. Also, something we can do as well, especially if we're getting our steps in first thing or being busy ticking off certain goals. Unless you're training, it is ideal having nutrition before training or eating before the training window. But if you're doing steps, you can delay your first meal, get your steps in, go out on a big walk, go somewhere nice, and not eat until a bit later in the day if you're in a fat loss phase and you're looking to manage your steps as a whole and get your steps hit and manage your calories alongside it. There's no reason why we need to have 1,000 calories first thing in the morning if we are going out for a meal at night, and additionally if we are trying to manage our hunger and our calorie intake, regardless if we are going out for a meal. We can also make it social, so go out for a walk with someone, go out, you can spend time with significant others, and also hit your steps, killing two birds with one stone there. And also walk when possible, even if you're going down the street to get Chinese, even if you're going on a night out, if you've got the ability to walk, it's a good way to kind of get steps in. Again, it's not about thinking all or nothing, which will usually lead to nothing. So to conclude, when it comes to managing the weekend, try and have a plan in place. Make sure you choose sensible options when you're eating out. Eat some food before so you're not starving going into it. Choose sensible options with your alcohol consumption and make sure you try and manage those effects, and have a good routine and a plan in place when it comes to your activity too. And also remember your why. Remember the why behind you trying to reach your goals, which can help a lot with adherence. And set non-negotiables, so set certain things that you always hit regardless, that you can sustain, like protein, steps, water intake. Because even if maybe you're not perfect, if those foundations are hit and you, let's say, you're 5 a day, you're still going to be in a much better spot, and it's going to help you stay where you are or move forwards while enjoying your meals out, nights out, etc. Hope the video helped. Any help or support you need, please let me know. And any questions or any other topics you'd like covered, then please feel free to let me know.